wife, and sorry, and I could every moment I said this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen because
they were made perfectly, though.
Yeah, no, wait a minute,
I mean,
wait a minute, and they were following exactly. So let's get it. I'm trying to exactly understand. It was exactly that. I said, you know what? This is a time when she's going to slap her fiancé. Well, he did better. She spat on him. You know, so it went exactly on formula of how we make Indian films. When you put songs in it, it would be in a Hindi film. And then Baz Luhrmann made Moulin Rouge, which was like a musical, and he watched Indian film after Bollywood film and created these are two very successful films. So my question to you, Ashok, what do we do if we do?
You know, I absolutely think Indian filmmakers should reach out. I think they're talented enough. I think they absolutely should be making movies, a section of the movies. I mean, you're making movies, a section of the movies that should look to the
well, it's not even that.
Yeah. You know.
In fact, in Hollywood at this moment, if you look at it, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think that's terrible also. They have more money invested in development than they have in production at any one given time. For those that we got to understand, when we talk about development in the entertainment business, to all other industries, it's R&D. Every industry invests a lot of money in research and development. What is happening in the entertainment industry, we don't invest in research and development.
In India.
In India.
In India. Yeah. And that's something we need to start doing if we really want to make a difference. I think that's going to be one of the key things. Also, what is happening is that because I think in India, I may be wrong.
Your responsibility to then build your production company into a different area, so that, I mean, you happen to be a producer, director, and a star, but there are others who shouldn't be, you know, necessarily. So I think there's a few different areas between development and growth into corporatization that kind of has all come together.
Sure, let's move on from this and let's talk about the next things that are happening. But let me just say something. When you look at the statistics of Indian films, 95% of the films that have been successful in the history of Indian cinema have been produced and directed by the same person, or produced by the actor and he's starring in it, or produced by the father and the son is directing. There is something talking about non-corporatization and individuality in cinema. I mean, yes, corporates have come in 5 years ago. What were the two biggest hits this year? A film made by Aamir, starring himself, produced by himself. A film made by Shah Rukh Khan, starring himself, produced by himself. There's something about individuality in that, and both of them have completely excluded corporatization.
But you know, Shekhar, I think that will happen. That will never stop happening. There will be individuals who...
Well, it doesn't happen in the West.
I think it's just starting out here in India. I think that we should give the corporates some time. It's too early to comment about them. I think they're like almost babies. See, I've been in this field for 20 years.
Who feels like a corporate baby here? Tell me.
No, seriously. I mean, as a creative person, I've been looking at script for 20 years. Now, the head of a corporate today, who's not been part of the entertainment business, is I mean, maybe in terms of age he might be older, I have no idea, but in terms of experience of how to pick scripts, he's just 6 months old. So I think you should give them a bit of time.
Okay, let's move on. You said that you can't expect somebody who works in a telecom business to come in and talk about script writing. Here's my question: are the telecom companies going to be the new creators and owners and purveyors of content? Will film? We've been talking about film. Will it survive in its present form, or are the audiences asking for a much more interactive way of dealing with us? If all the questions I raised earlier, let's talk about it. Let's ask Ashok. Do you think? Let me ask you another thing. The studio system. The studio system depends on two things. The studio system is the greatest gatekeeper of all. They talk about distribution, right, and marketing, which gives them their own distribution and marketing outlets. We know that the internet is a great disruptor of marketing, and we have seen a film like Cloverfield, talked about, which came out, which was it was virally sold, and by the time it became everybody knew about it. So these are things I want you to touch upon. Where are we heading? Are we heading for film to be a dinosaur? Are we heading for a completely different kind of entertainment? All three of us, known as filmmakers, actors, filmmakers, or you've been in the process of what we call the old media. Is the new media leaving us behind? How are we going to catch up with it?
Well, I mean, I'm one of the few companies, I think, today where we exclude the studios to a great extent from the creative process. We finance our films, we distribute them internationally, and just in the United States and Canada, where the studios dominate, they distribute the films for me, whether it's Premonition, Bandits, whatever. The studio is the gatekeeper right now in distribution. They control the theaters. They control the tentpole films, which gets them to theaters. I think overall, I don't think I would ever wish for the movie experience to go away.
Not wish. Let's look at reality.
I don't think it will ever go away. I think on a Friday night, the kids are going to go out to the movie theater. They're going to get their bag of popcorn or whatever it is, and they're going to go to the movies. I did it when I was 8 years old watching The Sound of Music. I do it now. I will do it always.
You didn't grow up playing video games.
I knew that was exactly what you were going to say. But I will say, I think the movie-going experience, and as the theaters get better in India as well, here, I don't think it'll ever go away.
I hope you're right. Stops me becoming a dinosaur.
That doesn't mean, I just think that what you're talking about is a completely new stream of revenue where you can sit at home. For instance, we just made a 3D film with Sony. Okay? And it's going to go out in 800 screens because those are the screens that you can actually play 3D on. But they're setting up a system where you can do it at home, and you have the crazy glasses, and you watch it at home, and you go through the same experience. So you don't necessarily need to trade one for the other. I think they will both exist. They will both coexist as the DVD and the theaters and everything else.
I'll take that. I'll ask Aamir, then we'll throw it open. Please, is interactivity changing the nature of the game? Is a huge question. I'll just come to Aamir back here, and then we'll come back to the audience. Yeah. Aamir, what do you think?
I think I would be really surprised if down the years we find that cinema is no longer existing and theaters don't exist and films aren't made anymore. I'd be really surprised. I think that what will happen is new technologies will come in, which will become an added revenue stream for films and cinema. The reason I'm saying this, I could be wrong, but the reason I feel this is that I think cinema is probably the youngest art form that we have today. It incorporates all the previous art forms that have existed over the years and have grown over the years, over the centuries, I would say. And it incorporates all of these. I don't know of any other dimension that I can think of today, which can come in, which can dramatically change what is entertainment for us. So while you'll have internet content, while you'll have mobile content, a lot of the content that is going to be available on internet and mobile will again be from films.
Okay.
People want to download Shah Rukh's latest song or Hrithik's latest photograph or whatever.
Right. We'll open that. We hope it will. I am actually disagree, but we can talk about that. I think that soon we'll be saying, well, there's also another added revenue stream to what we're doing, and that's the movie theater. It won't be the other way. So,
can I touch on just one thing, though? Sure. I think with all the revenue streams being created and all the great methods of distribution, perhaps the greatest concern facing us is piracy. And I think in whether it's Hollywood or India, it doesn't really matter. Hollywood spends millions of dollars every year fighting piracy. We probably lose $5 billion of revenue every year to piracy. Unfortunately, I'm not even sure if the younger generation understands that downloading movies, sharing movies, and all of that, or buying a DVD for 50 cents in Taiwan is necessarily piracy. But that aside, I am a little surprised, and I would like to ask this question. Does India do enough to fight piracy?
I'm glad you asked that question. Sorry.
No, it does. I think India does pathetically less to fight piracy. I think it's really shameful that we as an industry have not been aware of this problem, but we've really not come together to solve this problem. No, we haven't.
It's going to kill you once the internet
Yeah.
It's always going to be an added revenue stream once you get it digitally inclusive.